All right, I'm gonna start the recording. Um, so what I wanted to do today, Mary, is walk you through a few changes that we have that I think will really help you and help make your job easier, and also help your users. Um, and this is kind of what I was going to cover today. I was going to introduce you to Dawn and some support options for you, talk about that BDX interface a little bit. I think there's some confusion around that after talking to Jeff Cackley a couple days ago. So I'll
Uh-huh.
explain that to you, and if you want to pursue it, that's fine. But I wanted to talk to you about it real quick. Um,
Okay.
there's a couple features on email integration and customizing those emails that you're setting up.
Uh-huh.
I want to show you what we can do with them. Maybe it'll make your life a little bit easier when you're creating those emails for each community. Um,
Uh-huh.
so I'll show you that, because what you can do is you can add tags into the email so that um, it replaces those tags with the name of the community and the name of the agent and the email address of the agent, different things. Um, and maybe you can just create one reusable email, so to speak. Um, but let me walk you through it, and you can decide. I'll just introduce you to the feature, and then we're going to
Okay.
we're setting up a new administrative tool, so that when you create a new community, and you add that form to your website, like we're doing when we create new communities for you, when you set,
Uh-huh.
you can set up those rules yourself without me seeing an error, or something going wrong, and you can do it right away. Whenever you create a new community, you can add the rule yourself, and also
Okay.
change the rules. So if somebody moves from one community to another or something, you can you can you can make that change. But you can also use the reassignment utility that I think you've been using that, right, to do those changes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you can continue to use that for um, situations when somebody moves from one community to another. I'll explain this to you in a second, but then also I want to show you how you can get updates and learn about the new features in the future. Um, so we'll talk about all of that. First of all, let me go back to the beginning. Don, his name is Don Lott. He's not on here. He's actually conducting some training right now. I was talking to him on the phone when you dialed in here. Um, he's a new guy. He's our support manager, and he's helping me, and he's helping everybody else. And I really just wanted to introduce his name to you, because you may see some emails from him. He may respond to some of the emails that you send as well, and so hopefully you'll get some good interaction with Don. He's a really good guy, and he's been with us since October. Um, but I'm always here. I'm definitely not, going away. I just wanted to make sure you knew he was around as well. Um, we have something called the Help Center that we launched at the end of the year. And the Help Center is accessible through this menu option here. Can you see that, Mary?
Uh-huh. I
Okay.
did notice it.
Okay. So the Help Center contains all these categories, but the main thing here is that you can get help. There's training material. There's frequently asked questions, definitions, and terminology. We're going to add any webinars that we do, like best practices kind of webinars, like lead management best practices, or how to create an effective email webinar. We may do something like basic things like how to avoid the spam folder when you're creating an email, or different webinars that's in there. And then also a what's new section. So as we release new features, you'll be able to find them in the what's new section. But the cool thing about this help center is we're going to continue to add videos and how-to guides into the help center. And then you can easily go in and search for things like we have something called a quick start plan now. And if you search for quick, you can find the user instructions for the quick start plan. Or let's say there's probably a lot of things if you type in email, creating and monitoring an email campaign. There's a video on that. There's a how-to guide on that. And you can also, of course, filter by category and subject here, creating a new lead or follow-up plans or changing the lead status, different things, of course. So, and then you can also search by role, a sales manager or administrator, and you're an administrator, or your typical user. But what's also really neat, and after we're done with this training, I'm going to upload the recording to our YouTube page. And then if you're in here, Mary, and you click on show only items for my company, you'll see your specific training in there. So if we do any special training for you or your team, you'll be able to find it in the help center right by just clicking on that button. Okay. But this is a great place to go to if you ever want to watch a video or learn something or get information about the system. But also the McBride and Son users can go here as well. So if they are getting stuck on something and they want to work with follow-up plans, learn how to apply follow-up plans to existing leads or something like that, they can find the information here. And most of the time we have videos, and it's easy to watch a video. It's easier to watch a video than it is to try to read a guide, right? So
absolutely.
I hope you find this helpful. I mean, we are going to really add a lot of training, a lot of things to it, and it's going to be constantly updated with material. We haven't figured this out yet, but we might have a checkbox on here that says, just show me new items or show me items that were added in the last, week or 2 weeks, because we're constantly adding topics to the help center. And we had a meeting on this the other day, and we want to try to figure out how can we update everybody on the new material. Well, that may be the way to go. But I think just the point is I want you to be aware that we have this. And so if you find that you need something, or that your users need something, or Rob needs something, or somebody else at McBride and Son needs something, you can come to us and say, well, look, we're having trouble with I don't know what it is. It could be something. Can you create a video of that for us and add it to the help center? Well, yeah, we'll do that. It's pretty easy to sit down, walk you through the item and record it, and you don't even have to be on there. We can just do it ourselves and record it and then add it to the help center, and then you'll have it. Okay? So
got it.
I hope that helps. I don't know if it does or not, but
it might.
yeah, I mean, it's there. It's helping a lot of people, I know, and hopefully you'll benefit from it as well. Okay. So that's the help center and the introduction to Dawn. I wanted to talk to you about the support options that we have available to you. Okay, I want to start by saying I'm always your support option. You know how to reach me, obviously, but my cell number's here, and you know how to get me on my cell if you ever have an emergency. That my cell number's on all my emails and everything. You know how to get there. But we have other options if you choose to find it more convenient. Obviously, we have the help center that I just talked to you about. But we are also having, and this is what is going on right now, daily training classes. Okay. So every day we have a training class, and it's a webinar, so to speak, and you or any of the people at your company can sign up anytime they want and jump into one of these training classes, ask questions, or just say, well, look, I'm having trouble with, follow-up plans, or tracking my history, or tracking my next steps, or whatever that may be. You can jump on one of these training sessions and ask questions, or ask us to show you stuff, and we might record it and add it to the help center. But it's open. It's pretty much open to anybody to attend. And today we have 4 people on it. Sometimes we have nobody on it. Sometimes we have more people on it. But it's pretty helpful and informal for you or anybody at your work. So, and I have links to that. And also, by the way, those links are on the bottom of my emails that I send you. So you'll see them below my signature block. So you can click on these links and register, or you can send them to your users. I don't know if you communicate with your users very much, Mary, but you might want to tell them about this, right?
Okay.
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 We also have a support email address, and I'm not trying to push you away from me to that, because I also monitor this support inbox as well. But should I be out for whatever reason, I do take a day off, maybe once every couple years, but there are times, like for instance on spring break, I may be with the kids or something, and you can't reach me directly. We have multiple people monitoring that support inbox, including myself. Okay. So that way, if I'm out, Dawn will get it, other folks will get it, and you'll get a response one way or another. Okay.
Okay.
Good stuff. All right. So back to here. So I talked to Jeff Cackley about this 2 days ago, and he said that you already had an interface to BDX or New Home Source, but he quickly realized that what he was talking about is posting updates from your inventory to newhomesource.com. What we're talking about here is being able to capture the leads that come in from BDX. When somebody goes to newhomesource.com and says, I'm looking for a new home in St. Louis, they'll find you, right?
Right.
Well, if they put their name and their email and everything in newhomesource.com, we will capture that lead for you and assign it to the agent within that community, and send a thank you email and send out alerts and apply a follow-up plan. And we even have a BDX specific follow-up plan. Let me add that here. That will apply to that lead. And then they have reminders and alerts and all kinds of follow-up that is in place when a lead comes in from New Home Source. I mean, right now, somebody's getting an email, right? Do you know that?
Right.
And then I don't know what they do with the email. Maybe they key it into TopBuilder and assign it to somebody, but this eliminates all that manual work, right?
Okay.
And in our system, it's quite sophisticated. Whereas if the person's already in the database, we won't create another contact record for that. But we will create a new lead to say, because sometimes BDX sends leads for multiple communities, right? For the same person. Yeah, McBride. Yeah. And so we'll create one lead, same contact, and then we'll assign it to the right person in that community, and all the alerts and everything's happened. It's completely up to you. There's no charge for the interface. The interface is part of your service. But if you think you guys would benefit from it, you might want to let Rob or Jeff know, and we'll set that up for you.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll let you know on that. I think it's cool, but we'll let you know what they say. They'll be dealing with that more than I will, especially Rob.
Okay. Well, Rob can watch this video, or you can just tell him about it, and I can discuss it with him if he wants to call me.
Okay.
I'm happy to do that. And like I said, there's no charge for it, but it's really a cool process. It's really, really neat. And we've done this for most of our builders that are using BDX, and they just love it. So I mean, it saves a ton of time, and you don't lose the leads. They automatically get logged into the system. Emails, I guess, can get lost much quicker than something like this. So, all right, enough about that. The next thing is email integration. Now, if I go to the Help Center and I type in integration, okay, we have a video on this, and we have basically a how-to guide on this. And essentially what email integration is if you send an email from TopBuilder, let's just go to Andy here, and I'm logged in as Rob under our test account here, so I don't really affect any data. And I send an email to this guy. You will see that down below here, it says capture replies in the history. So when this email goes to this individual, Andy, and Andy replies to it from Outlook or Gmail or iPhone, iPad, whatever he uses for his email program, we'll automatically capture that information and load it into the history under his record. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. And so when your agents email back and forth with Andy from outside of TopBuilder Solutions, that information can automatically be added and captured into the history for that client without having to log into TopBuilder and add the history manually. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
It's neat. It's really, really awesome. And we do it all the time ourselves internally, but our clients love that feature. And I know they love it because if ever, for some reason, it doesn't get added to the history the way they expected it to, which is rare, I get a call, you know. And usually that happens because they made a mistake and they used the wrong email address or something weird happened. But it's a really, really handy feature. And so without going into any more detail on that, you can go in here and watch this video. And, you know, it's really short. It's 8 minutes. And explains the process. And then the how-to guide explains, you know, how it works. It's really, really a handy feature.
Cool.
And our agents love it. So hopefully you'll pass that on.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's the neat thing I think that you're most interested in, and that's customizing follow-up emails with tags. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So going back to the good old Help Center, if I type in tags, I will get basically a guide of tags that we have. And so these are this is a list of all our tags and where they can be used. They can be used in automated emails, a newsletter, email campaigns, or individual emails that you send out to one person. Now, let's just take a simple example. You may know about this already, but community name. And if I show this to you, Mary, I go in here, and let's say I go in and I grab one of your okay, this is one of your emails that goes out. Let's see, there's nothing in that because you add everything to the closing. Right?
Right.
Okay. Well, let's pretend, and this is the test and database, so you don't have to worry about me changing data. I'll show you this using this example. Okay. thank you for visiting community name on let's just, as an example, let's take this tag. Whoopsie. I've got too many things open, Mary, on this date. And let's say, okay, my name is, and then we'll go back to the tags, whoopsie, and say agent first name. I think we have agent last name in here, but let me, just as an example, let me put first name, and my email is, okay, email address, and you'll get the idea real quick. Okay, if you have any questions about call me. All right. So, okay. So that's not a very fancy, whoopsie. Oh, you know what? Oh, crud. Your template's not in here. Shoot. Let me go in and, let me try to, I'm sorry about that, Mary. Let me try to fix this real quick. I'm in a test place, and maybe this may show an error as well. Crud. Let me do this in the demo environment really quickly for you so I can show you how it works. I'm just going to copy and paste what I put in here, and then I'm going to sign out, sign into my demo environment. Sorry, Mary. I'll show you this really quickly.
When in doubt, reboot.
What's that?
When in doubt, reboot.
Yeah, reboot. That's what I just did. Okay, so let's just grab this email as an example, and then I'm going to go into the content, and I'm going to paste in what I just what I was just showing you, and let me just use. Okay, this one's a good one. All right, so clean it up just a tad. Put some spaces in there. Okay, so now when this email goes out, thank you for visiting that community name on February the 24th, 2016. So that's when and this is just an example here when you're previewing it, but that would be when they first contacted you, would be that date. My name is, and under my account here, it's under my profile, my first name is set up as Dave Demo. So that would be my first name. And my email is, obviously, if you have any questions about the community, call, so you see how this works. And if I, while I'm previewing it, and if I want to change communities, you can see how it changed to Lakeview. Or if I change my name, my name is Ashley, So what the system does is it's before it sends the email out, it replaces those tags with the community that's assigned to the lead, and when you first added them as a contact, and then the email address of the person assigned to the lead and their first name, and all those things. So all those, and you can see there's a whole list of tags in here. That you can use and you can insert into your email. I think right now yours is set up to use that community closing, and everything is when you set up that closing, right? let me log back in as Rob real quick. You're essentially putting the closing in for each community, I believe, right?
Right.
Yeah. So if I go in and look at the communities,
Just,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's your, yeah. So this is being put into the closing. So
Right.
if you wanted to, you could create some more general emails. I think you correct me if I'm wrong, but this process that you're currently following seems to be working really well.
It does.
Okay.
Each sale manager feels very personalized by it. They like it.
Okay. So I don't want to change that. I certainly don't want to change that, especially since this seems to be working well. But if in the future, if you ever create new emails or want to do something in addition to what you're already doing, I think that initial thank you email is working really great. And by the way, we are monitoring the web contact form. So if anything ever happens when somebody tries to register and there's an error, we know about it and we act on it really quickly. So
Okay.
I don't see those because I think we've got a really good process in place for handling it. But if there ever is any, we're on it quickly.
All right.
Okay, so this is how the email tags work. And then I think the last thing on my agenda was a process that we have set up. And I'll show this to you. Basically, there'll be more on this in the future. But let me show you what we've got planned. So when you go create a new community, okay, and again, I'm in the test account. You know how you go in and you say, I want to create a new community, and this is Dave's test, and I add that community. Whoopsie, sorry. I pushed the wrong button. Okay, it gives you this ID, right?
Uh-huh.
What you would do is you'd be able to go in and say, well, I have a new community, that Dave's test community, and we associate that ID, wow, look at all the users you have, with a rule, and I'll have some training on this, and then you save it. Oopsie, sorry. And now everything is all set up for that community. And you can just say, well, I want this to go to Kathy. Obviously, the community name is Dave's Test. You know, do you following what I'm doing here?
Yes.
Okay. So that way, when you create new communities, you don't have to send me an email and set all that up. I will do it for you if you have any trouble with it, but you'll be able to go in and create these rules for the communities when you create them.
Okay.
And I'll have a video on this. Don't worry about having to understand it right now. I'll have a video and training on it for you.
Okay.
And then the last thing on my list before I see if you have any questions is basically getting updates on new things and new features. We do have our own newsletter. Do you see that? Have you seen our newsletter when it goes out?
Yes.
Okay. So you may have noticed on our newsletter, we announce changes and new features. We have, so let me go to this is our newsletter. And if I go show you our last newsletter, you will see okay, feature of the month and a list of new features. Okay, so that's on every newsletter, but we also send out announcements on new features as well. but I also, what I really want to do, we have new features here in the Help Center, but what I also want to do, and I'm kind of asking for your feedback here, is when you log in, maybe have a little list, maybe even to the right here, of new features so you can just kind of look at them real quickly before you
Yeah,
log.
that would be nice.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'm going to do that. Okay, so that's how you'll learn about these things in the future is through the newsletter, through the Help Center. We're going to send out updates as well. And then on the login page, we're going to try to add them there too. So,
okay.
sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, great. I hope you found this useful. I wanted
I
to
did.
okay, okay, that's good. And I'm gonna record this and I'm going to add it to the Help Center for you, and then I'll send you a link to it as well. This recording will only be for McBride Homes. It will not be for anybody else, and it'll
Okay.
be in the Help Center, and I'll show you how to get to it. Um, do you have any questions?
No, not right now. I do want to look over some of the things we talked about. I might then.
Okay. Yeah, well, you know how to reach me, and I'm always here for you if you need my help. And that applies to anybody, Rob or Jeff or anybody. We're here to help you, and I haven't had much interaction with you lately, and that's usually good. But if you ever need anything, you know how to reach me.
I do. I do. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that.
Okay, Mary, take care.
You too.
Bye bye.